Well, good morning, viewers. Today we're working on a 2010 Dodge Journey SXT. It's actually the King Ranch edition, believe it or not. Didn't know they made a King Ranch. But anyways, it's here for transmission oil cooler lines leaking. I noticed it when I was doing some other repairs on it. You can see the cooler lines are compromised. Now I've already removed the air induction system and the air cleaner housing. There's one bolt here, and it pulls out of a couple of push pins right here, I imagine. Anyways, we're gonna have to take the grill off here by the looks of it to get at the lines where they go through the front. This end here looks pretty reasonable. It looks like it has quick couplers on it. Here's the Dorman part number 624645. And these lines at this end attached to the condenser by the looks of it. Yeah. You can see them in there. I wonder how hard it is to take this grill off. Well, let's do this. Well, there are several push pins, so pry the center out of the push pins, and then you can pry the push pin out. And you can usually reuse these. That removes the top. Now I'm not sure how it's held on the bottom. We're going to find out. So there are 7 plastic clips along the bottom edge that hold it to the bumper cover. You can just pry them out with a pry tool. This one I had the most difficult time with, but the rest of them I come off pretty easy. And that gives us access to the lines where they attach to the condenser tranny cooler assembly. So just up here at this top nut here. So we're going to blow off the lines and see if we can get them out. So once you remove the 13mm nut, the top line pries out and the bottom line will pry out as well. So just take note that the top line goes in last, comes off first and goes in last. Might have to remove the headlight here to gain some room because this is hitting the headlight right here. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So you can flex this piece of plastic enough that's not up against the headlight and pry these out of here. This headlight's not coming off without taking the bumper cover off, as far as I can tell. But there is a bracket down here as well that has to be removed because the lines go through that bracket. And then the fittings at the back here, I've sprayed some penetrating oil in them and blew them out already, but they have little C-clips, so you have to pick those clips out and make sure no dirt falls into the transmission line adapters. Now you could remove them with a wrench and take them off on the bench because they're threaded in and they will spin on the O-ring, but I'm going to try and because they're fairly accessible, I'm going to try and get the clips off. So those little retaining clips that are holding the lines in, you can pick them out by finding the open ear and rolling it out like so. You're not supposed to reuse them. I've installed new ones in there. They don't come with the line. I had them in stock. They're the same size as GM cooler lines. But I have occasionally reused these. If you squeeze them back to shape a bit, you can often reuse them, but I wouldn't take a chance. If you have new ones, put new ones in there. Now I've routed the lines in. Remember, the upper line was on the outside, the lower line was on the inside. And all I've got left to do is attach that retaining bracket. Now these lines are slightly different shape, but we'll get the bracket bolt in there. And then I'm going to run it with the air induction system off so that I can check for leaks before I put this back in. And we're going to top up the transmission fluid level. So use a 1/4 inch 10 mil flex socket to get that line in there. You can see it's installed. So in order to properly check the transmission fluid temperature on this, you're supposed to have a special Miller tool because, as you know, there's no dipstick. But you can actually use the engine oil dipstick as long as you know the temperature and you have the chart. So here's the chart, and we were roughly at 17.5 degrees Celsius right now. So the chart starts down around here, so that would be roughly in this area here, 1/2 inch from the bottom of the pan. So we're going to run it till it comes up to about 25 degrees so we can see that it's about 20 millimeters from the bottom of the pan. So any dipstick that will touch the bottom of the pan will work, and then you use a vernier or a measuring tape to correlate that. Right now I think it's probably close to 28. I think it's a little over full because it was low the other day and I topped it up. But I didn't, I just added a little bit just to be safe. So you can actually use the engine oil dipstick in my opinion. If you measure from the bottom of the dipstick to the middle of the crosshatch pattern, that's about 1.5 inches. And 1.5 inches on the chart here is roughly 55-60 degrees Celsius, or 140 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to see where the temperature is right now. And you can warm it up quickly by putting it in drive and stall testing it. So it's at 20 degrees Celsius, which we still got a bit to go. 20 degrees Celsius is somewhere around here. And it's supposed to be at 20 millimeters maximum between these 2 points here. There's quite a bit of range for min and max. I would err on the side of caution and put it towards the max level, but that's my opinion.